What up, though? Welcome to Verse. I'm your host, Jay the Gentleman, and this week I tested positive for COVID 19. You can watch my whole COVID story right here, and the link is in the description. But sitting at home alone, watching endless amounts of TV made me question a lot of things about what was going on with my health. I used to work in HIV. There was a time when we felt like if you had enough condomless sex, HIV was pretty inevitable. Problem is, condoms are boring and sex feels good. With Omicron, it feels like we're getting to a point where you come out of the house, catching COVID is inevitable. Problem with that is staying at home gets boring and bottomless mimosas feel good. All this leaves a record number of Americans infected with COVID-19, including myself, even though I'm fully vaccinated. I've got some black gay questions that need answering. So this episode, I'm talking with Dr. Tonyka McKinney. She's a trained epidemiologist and public health professor. I can't say who she works for, but she's official and knows what the fuck she's talking about. Full disclosure, I felt like I still feel like shit but I felt like shit when I conducted this interview, and my dog, Nike, he wouldn't let me be great, but check this out. Like, is COVID inevitable like we felt like HIV was back in the day?
Yeah. You're gonna get COVID at some point. I made it through all the other variants until Omicron. Omicron, she a horse of a different color. Let me tell you, she is like, I want to say 4 to 5 times more contagious than any of the other variants we've seen so far. And the nature of viruses is that they adapt. They learn to survive under certain conditions. We've had this vaccine now for several months. This virus has seen this vaccine and what the vaccine is doing to these bodies. So it's adapting to be able to live longer and to transmit in ways that the other variants did not do. The good thing is that we have access to these vaccinations. And what vaccines really are designed to do is to introduce a particular condition to your body that it's never seen before, so that when your body sees it in real life, that it has a blueprint of how to fight it. So, yes, you're going to get COVID. Everybody's going to have COVID at some point. The key is to use the tools we have in our arsenal to make sure we survive COVID.
Is that like the end game? Is that COVID just becomes part like influenza and you get a new flu shot every year because there's a new variant or whatnot?
That's a loaded question. I'm going to try to break it down a little bit. We have had coronaviruses in our lifetime the common cold is caused by a coronavirus. And no one is out here trying to vaccinate.
Like what?
Yes, the common cold is a coronavirus. Okay, so we
what?
Yes.
you can't fuck me up like that though.
Legit.
I'm doped up on Dayquil, and you over here telling me that the common cold is caused by a coronavirus?
It is. It's caused by a different strand of coronavirus than the one that we're currently fighting. A strand that's been around for a lot longer than the one we're currently fighting. So what happened with that particular coronavirus that causes the common cold is, of course, when it was first came about, everybody was out here dying from what's not a common cold. You see what I'm saying? So as this coronavirus continues to migrate through the population, the severity should decrease to the point where it is not killing us at the rate that it's killing us. Now, this could take years. So until our bodies have been able to recognize and fight this coronavirus using the booster, using the vaccine that we have, we're still going to need to be boosted, likely yearly, maybe even semi-annually for COVID. When I tested positive for COVID, for a split second, I wonder what people would think about me because of my positive test results, and that seemed all too familiar. So I asked Dr. McKinney about stigma. Are people still experiencing it, and why? Is there a stigma around COVID and testing positive for COVID? I think it definitely has been, but it is better now than it was. I think earlier on, people were afraid to get tested because they didn't want to tell people they had COVID. And I mean, it had gone from stigma about being tested to stigma about being vaccinated in some communities. Like people were driving outside of their local areas to go get vaccinated because they didn't want their friends to know they were vaccinated. Like it was crazy. So there was a stigma associated with testing positive and a stigma associated with getting vaccinated that we've had to that we in public health have tried to combat, right? So I want to say that this Omicron is showing us, the data is showing us that even if you're masked, even if you're washing your hands 50 times a day, even if you are doing every single thing that CDC has said you need to do to prevent COVID, Omicron is getting around those barriers. So the truth of the matter is the best, the best thing you could do is to be vaccinated and boosted. That's literally the thing that is separating people from death and mild illness, which is what you look like you have.
If so many of us are going to get COVID, so many of us, then like, why do we still wear masks? Why do we still socially distance? Why do we still do all of that if it's so inevitable?
Because a couple reasons. Everybody ain't vaccinated. So the risk for the unvaccinated person is still very high for serious illness. Just because the people who vaccinated are having mild illness doesn't mean that if an unvaccinated person has the same exact exposure that you have, that they're not going to die. So that's another reason, because everybody's not vaccinated. We still have to do what we can to protect our neighbor, even if they ain't smart enough or willing enough to protect themselves. So that's the main thing, the first thing. The second thing is that natural infection protects us to a point, but it's not going to give us the same protection as a vaccine would give us. So that would mean even if we're around our friends who had COVID last week, they got some protection, but it ain't gonna last as long as the protection that you have. So you could literally get COVID again. One other reason why it is still important, I know you're not gonna like this, but people who are vaccinated, we are still having breakthrough infections, which is what you have, and breakthrough deaths in vaccinated people.
What?
Vaccination,
say that
yes.
Again?
Breakthrough infections, which is what you have. And then there are things that we call breakthrough deaths. So these are vaccinated people who end up dying from COVID. This is still happening. This happens. Now, the percentage of people who are contracting COVID and dying that are vaccinated are minuscule compared to those who are unvaccinated and are dying from COVID. However, it still happens. So why put yourself in a position to be exposed to something that you could still die from, even if you're vaccinated? Again, I am not talking negatively about vaccination. I want everybody to get vaccinated because it's giving you the best chance of survival. And most people who are vaccinated do not get serious infection and do not die. But that is still a possibility. It's still a possibility. And so do everything you can to avoid it.
That was our show. I put my COVID journey, whole playlist together of my COVID journey, so you can click here to check it out. Stop by fullyversed.com/merch to get your Versus Folks sweatshirt. It's the best way to support what we do here on Verse. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button to never miss another line item in the Black Gay Agenda. I am Jay the Gentleman. This is Verse, and I'll see you next time. Bye.